All right, Jim, it's a hot day. Imagine.
Okay, I was like, it wasn't too bad today, but okay.
Yeah. Well, it has been unseasonably warm.
That's true.
Here,
That's
and
true.
that's why actually I thought of this episode. It's a warm day. You're at an amusement park and you have one of those little fans. It's cooling you down. It's doing wonders.
Yes, some people in my neighborhood over a certain age walk around with fans that like are fixed around their neck, especially in the summer when they're on their power walks.
I love that. Well, have you ever wondered why that effectively cools you down?
Yeah, I mean, yes, definitely. I've wondered that.
Well, we're going to talk about that today.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Melissa.
I'm Jam.
And I'm a chemist.
And I'm not.
And welcome to Chemistry for Your Life.
The podcast helps you understand the chemistry of your everyday life.
Okay, this is going to be a shorty little episode for you.
Nice.
And it's a lot of concepts we've talked about before coming back into play.
Okay.
So there's lots of like little chemistry lessons.
Okay.
But I'm going to start with an analogy.
Okay.
This feels more like an OG, one of the like first few episodes that we did. So I'm having fun with it.
Nice.
Have you ever hard-boiled eggs and then you take those hard-boiled eggs out of the boiling water and you put them in an ice bath?
I know that that's what people do, but I would never hard boil an egg.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you felt that way about eggs.
I mean, I'm not really that into eggs in general, but that's like one of the like. As soon as I get home, I'm like, you hard boiled eggs, didn't you? She's like, how'd you know? I'm like, because it has such a distinctly like the bad egg smell that you're like. Ugh. Anyway, yeah. To your point, to keep the analogy intact, yes, I know that is what people do, and that's the right way to do it.
Okay, but also, I don't know if you'll know this next part because you haven't done this very often, but the water will, like, it starts as an ice bath, but all the ice melts and it gets kind of warm.
Uh-huh.
And it gets warm enough to the point that I will usually dump that water out and put fresh cold water in there because the eggs are still warm.
Yeah, they're quite hot enough. Yeah.
And then if the water is warm, it's not doing anything to cool down the eggs.
Okay.
So I replace, once it's heated up the water, I dump that out and I replace it with new ice water.
Okay.
So that ice water, sort of is like a fresh start. So we like cool down the eggs a little bit but not enough. And so then we add more ice water to it, right? That is basically how fans work. You're the egg and they give you fresh new water.
Whoa.
But water is air.
But water's the air that's hovering around my body.
Exactly.
Whoa.
And that's it. I'm just kidding. There's more.
But that obviously that makes sense. And that's what's happening, but like to hear it in the egg way is helpful.
Yeah.
Because it is or like when you're thawing something or something like that and you have to keep changing out the water.
Yeah.
Because if it's like super, super cold.
Yep.
Frozen chicken or something like that. And you're putting just, room temp water in there. The water gets cold.
The water gets cold and you dump it out and put fresh water in.
Yes.
It's the same exact concept. Okay. So the way that fans work and the way that eggs and ice baths work is not actually by making the air cooler, right? It just gives you fresh new air.
Right.
So if you are standing in a room with no fan, the room temperature, so, for us, that's about 70 degrees. Internationally, it's maybe 22 degrees.
Have you ever watched the show Community?
Yes.
Did you watch a lot of it? Do you know what I'm about to say?
No.
So there's this whole storyline in the third season, I think it is, about at the community college, there's the HVAC program. And John, what's that guy's last name? Actor. Dang it.
Is it the old guy?
John Goodman.
I don't know who that is.
No. John Goodman, yeah. It doesn't matter, but he's like a guest star in this particular.
Oh,
he's not always in the show. He's in charge of the HVAC program. He's trying very hard to lure Troy, one of the main cast member guys, over into the HVAC program. So he's showing him around their wing of the school, and they go into this room, and he's like, "Oh, this feels so nice in here." And he goes like, "Have you ever heard of room temperature?" this is the room.
Oh my God.
Isn't that so stupid, but like really clever too?
It's so stupid, but really like a jam joke specifically.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. So back to, so you said 70-ish degrees.
Yeah. 70-ish degrees. So in that room, I like to imagine it as like if you're looking at it through a heat camera, or infrared or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you can see that you're hotter than the air. The room temperature of the air is about 70 Fahrenheit, and we are like 98 Fahrenheit.
Yes.
And we talked in the episode about how thermoses keep our coffee hot.
Mm-hmm.
That really temperature will distribute itself.
Mm-hmm.
Molecules that have more energy are higher in temperature, and naturally that energy will spread and sort of dissipate.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes time for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So the molecules are heating up the air right around your body. So, or I guess your heat is being transferred as energy to these molecules. There's energy being transferred to the molecules right around your body. So they're moving more, and so they're heating up. And so eventually the air right around your body will be close to, if not as warm as your skin is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's constantly sort of trying to dissipate out.
Got it. Okay.
So it's interacting with the other molecules further away. And so, it's the heat is being distributed, but the problem is you're still producing more heat.
Got it.
So this is kind of the difference between you and the egg, is at some point the egg reaches the same temperature as the water.
Yes. That balance they really want happens.
Yep.
And then there's neither of them are hotter or colder than the other.
Yep. And by that balance, he was talking about the molecules.
Yes.
Wanting the temperature, the energy to be evenly distributed eventually happens. All the molecules have roughly the same amount of energy. There's not a difference that's happening where one's transferring to the other anymore.
Got it.
You want basically the water and the egg and the room to all be the same temperature. That's what you're working towards, and that's achievable. But in humans, that's not achievable because we keep putting more heat out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing so at a rate faster, or at least as fast as it's dissipating. So you kind of end up with a constant hot cloud around you, which is really how heat cameras pick you up, is because you're constantly letting out this heat, right?
Yeah.
And it's not really leaving.
Hot cloud. That's something about that phrasing.
It's terrible.
That's my favorite band right now.
So, yeah, you're not really getting the benefit of energy leaving your skin and going into those molecules around you if they already are at that temperature.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just stuck. And just like the egg, you've made the surroundings be the same temperature as you, and you're not getting any cooler anymore.
Right. So you could either constantly move.
Yes.
And
we are doing that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think, the general area around you is warmer. So you could either constantly move, or you can replace the air around you. And that is what fans are doing. So fans literally take those molecules and give you fresh new molecules. So you're constantly getting a fresh new batch of air, and that air is then not getting saturated with energy, right? It's not like, we've put all the heat out we can. So you're more often able to let off your heat into the surrounding molecules. You have more of an opportunity as more of those molecules are coming past and leaving. More and more of them are going to be able to interact with the energy that your body's putting out and sort of take it away. Because they're moving. They're not just staying there. They're moving physically away from you. So that's how it works. Fans don't cool the air at all. Actually, they probably make it hotter because they're making it move, and energy is increasing temperature. But it's not making it hot enough to be perceptible to you because it's rushing past you and removing some of the heat you're putting out.
And there probably would be a limit to its ability to heat the air.
Yes.
Like it would not keep getting hotter. It'd be like, it makes it like half a degree hotter, and then some of the air got over to a corner that got kind of still, and then it cooled back down. It's like there's got to be something like that,
so
right?
there is. I read a paper where they actually like did models and calculated, and it was essentially like at a lower speed, I think the fans added movement to the air, made it hotter, but then at the higher speed, there was like a point at which it tipped over into like, oh, this is not helping actually. And then there's a point at which it starts to help. So that was interesting.
Wow.
And I did read a very interesting paper that sort of did a model of like, if you have an air conditioner and a fan, what's happening. And if you have an air conditioner, let's say we have an air conditioner on one side of a room and an outlet on the other, the air conditioner is pumping out cold air, and the area right around the air conditioner will be colder than the area near the outlet. But if you have a fan, it will distribute that more evenly.
Oh, yeah.
But then the area, so the whole room would be a little bit warmer, actually, because the warm air would be mixing with the cooler air, but it would be a more even distribution of the air overall. So the fan can sort of like mix the air up.
Yes.
So air conditioning, which actually is taking energy out of the air and cooling it down, is a different thing. We can talk about how that works if you want, but have we done that? We haven't done it.
Not really, but we have a friend who's an HVAC person that would be not like, it's not like that's like a scientist, but it'd be cool to get a perspective of like a HVAC person.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the mix, like either like a little soundbite or something, just because our friend who is an HVAC person does, I think, is like deeply fascinated by all that's going on and does deep dives and stuff. But that would be so cool to do.
Yeah, I could do like the basics, but they would do a much more complicated.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a good topic.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that can physically cool the air. It takes the energy out of the air, making it less energy equals less temperature, basically. And so that cools the air, but then the fan can move it physically and sort of impede the natural patterns, if they're not spreading out. Like I think in this paper there was like a partition to where it wasn't like clearly obvious that the molecules could flow freely and dissipate themselves. The fan will encourage that to happen.
Got it. Okay, cool.
So
cool.
It was really cool.
That's
awesome.
Interesting
to read.
Our friend, or my friend, but you've got to interact with him quite a bit, Jason. My former co-podcast host of my other podcast from forever ago.
Oh, yeah.
He used to work at a power company, and they were really big on conservation, not just because power companies were like, hey, use less power, it makes us more money, but they seemed to be more uniquely interested in that. His like a co-op, power co-op. And he was super into fans because he didn't have the like that explanation basically, but he did have the like, you aren't actually cooler, but it tricks you into thinking you are.
Yep.
And if people who don't have ceiling fans versus people who do, or maybe just oscillating fans too, are just going to use more AC, more energy. And when it's hot and we're testing the grids in Texas, it's like if a lot of people have their fans and had them on, they use so much less energy in terms of like power.
Yeah.
Like the power required to run a fan versus like our ACs is apparently like insanely different.
Yeah.
But I remember him doing like just having all those numbers fresh and stuff because they talk about, he was on the marketing side too, so there's a bit of the like communicating about that through social media and stuff.
Yeah.
But he hasn't worked there in years, and so I hadn't thought about that in a long time. But
yeah, there was a paper about that too. I think it basically calculated like the temperature difference that you would feel the same, and it was like, oh, you could be this much. I don't remember the numbers. This was kind of a quicker episode because we're kind of trying to get a few banked up, but it was basically like, oh, you can feel this much with a fan at this much higher temperature, it'll feel equivalent to this temperature. So there is calculation and like evidence that perceived temperature can be maintained despite it being warmer with a fan.
I love that so much. There's something about that where like when science can figure out like a cheat code like that almost, which is like, yeah. On one hand, obviously air conditioning is a cheat code. It's like crazy how people even figure that out, refrigeration or whatever else. But on the like energy, like decreasing consumption side of like, honestly, if you use fans, way less electricity is used. Your experience, especially if the mixing of AC and fans or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can lower your bill and also just decrease, strain on the grid. It's just like cool.
Yeah.
That can happen.
Yeah, it really is. And it's cool to think about like there's architectural systems that, before AC was invented that would like naturally cool buildings and like, optimize things that you're like, man, why don't we use stuff like that anymore?
Yeah.
Like how cool it is in a cave on a hot day. It's like, let's make ourselves little caves maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. So, and I also wanted to add that an added benefit of moving more air molecules and giving your body the opportunity for the energy to be dissipated by all these moving by is also that more air moving by also means more opportunity for sweat evaporation.
Right.
Because just like they can interact with the heat coming off of your body, that also means same thing. They can interact with more of those water molecules that are evaporating and cooling you down. And we have a whole episode on how that works.
Yes.
So there's kind of two benefits to fans. Is they're moving the heat away, but this doesn't really go into the egg analogy, but it also is evaporating the water too.
Right.
So if you're sweating, it can help you with evaporative cooling.
Dang, that's cool. That makes sense.
Yeah. Very fun, I thought. Well, it's kind of a shorty, but do you want to try to explain it back to me? I feel like we chatted about it. But
Yeah. So the gist is, of course, our bodies around that like 98 degree in Fahrenheit, what is that in Celsius? Do you know that off the top of your head?
I think it's around 39,
okay.
38, 39, because I think 40... We got COVID in Canada and we had to buy a thermometer and it's in Celsius. So I'm like, a fever is around. I know a fever in Celsius because that's still the only thermometer that we have.
And there's that shortcut that's like times 2 plus 13 or times 2 minus 13, but it doesn't work the further away you get from like. Yeah. Because it's just not perfect.
Let's see. A fever in Celsius is generally, this is a quick Google, is 38.
Okay.
100.4 is 38.
Okay.
So
there you go. So our bodies are warm, and in a typical room, the room itself is less warm, but we can still feel hot. It's like we don't really want the room we're in to be the same temperature as our bodies. It's just not how we like to be.
Speaking as someone who lives in Texas, and the environment is often the same temperature as our bodies.
Yes, but I mean, being indoors, if an inside room was 98 degrees,
oh my gosh,
that would be brutal. At least outside, there's like there is air movement, and whatever. But when we're sitting or standing still-ish, the air around us is also being warmed up by our bodies. So even if it's 70 degrees, according to a thermometer, right all around the surface of our skin, right near there, would probably be warmer.
Yeah,
because we're warmer. And so the fans are just this perfect little cheat code of continually moving air around a room that moves the warm air right near our skin away, so that just new air that's not yet warmed by us can be put there. So that's already probably going to just give us that like feeling of like, oh, this just feels cooler in here. And then to add in what you mentioned just a second ago too, the evaporative cooling thing. Like if we're sweating, which I guess we're always kind of giving off a bit of moisture, whether we have like those big beads of sweat or not, then we're getting the benefit of that whole other chemistry lesson there too. and just by moving the air around.
Yep. And I will say, so we heat up that air, and that's moved away, and the new air will also be heated. Mm-hmm. But again, moves away.
Yeah, not yet heated, or not as quickly or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like the fresh water. Yeah, it's like we're putting it with the same temperature that we started with before you heated it up, kind of thing.
And like our bodies are trying to stay the same temperature. So it's like as long as we just keep moving the air, we won't get like actually cold inside.
Yeah.
So if we don't keep moving the air, we will keep warming the air around us.
Yeah.
So I guess it's sort of seemingly indefinitely.
Yeah. As long as you're still taking in energy, as long as you're consuming energy to then output.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where these little little heaters.
Yeah.
But yeah, wow. Did I miss something? Anything else?
I don't think so.
You talked about the agitation. The air can warm it a bit, but that's like kind of imperceptible to us because it's still cooler than our own body temperature and the air right around us. Mm-hmm. So it's still better getting some fresher, not yet warmed air.
Yep.
But that the agitation of air does like introduce energy into it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because there is energy required to move the fan blades at all. Mm-hmm. So there has to be some energy being...
Yeah, the energy is being put into the air to move it, but less energy than you are heating it by.
Right.
Basically.
Okay.
Great.
That was cool.
I will say I take advantage of this concept often because it is very hot in Texas. Mm-hmm. And in the summer, I would rather bike to and from work than get in my car because I live very close to my work. And by the time anyone who lives in a hot climate, hot part of the world knows that if you leave your car, you get the car heating up very hot. We did an episode on that too. And the air is just still in there and it's terrible. And so it's hotter inside your car than it is outside. And it's hard to fully, move that air out. But if you get on a bike, it's the same temperature as it is outside, and you moving through the air is automatically, creating new. So you're getting, it's cooler comfort wise. Also is like more cool, like trend wise.
Yeah, for sure.
To ride your bike in the summer than it is to get in a car and not, because by the time you get home, your air conditioner hasn't kicked in yet.
Yeah.
So I sweat less riding my bike home than I do driving my car home in the middle of the summer.
Probably helps that your bike ride is shorter than some people's.
That's true. Yeah.
And I guess it would also depend on the number of hills and how many gears a bike has. I'm like, I've been, whenever I was riding a fixed gear bike around campus years ago.
That's hard.
Well, honestly, what was great is like in fall, spring, and in winter, if it wasn't too cold, it was great. Like the hills weren't bad. I was in better shape than I am now and stuff like that. But when I would try to do it in warmer months, I'd be like, man, I am so sweaty because I had to work so hard.
Yeah, I'll say I do think that calculation is made on the fact that pretty much everywhere in Denton is 15 minutes from the school that I work at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in 15 minutes in summer in Texas, your AC usually has not made the air better in a car.
Totally, yeah.
And my bike ride is even shorter than that.
Dude, yeah. So. Especially those 100 plus degree days. It's all our car ACs are struggling to fight it.
Yeah.
It's better just to roll your windows down.
Just roll them all down.
Yes.
And turn the AC on and hope something happens. Yeah. Yep. Okay, well, I just thought I'd share that fun little tidbit.
Okay, well, I love the tidbit. I love the whole episode. And thanks for sharing that with us. If you got a question, thought, idea, follow up, anything, let us know at chemforyourlife.com. That's chemforyourlife.com to share thoughts and ideas with us. If you'd like to help us keep our show going and contribute to cover the cost of making it, you can join our super cool Chem community of patrons on patreon.com/chemforyourlife, patreon.com/chemforyourlife. You get an ad-free feed of the show. You get some behind-the-scenes looks at stuff. You get a monthly bonus episode just for our community. And most importantly, you keep the show going, keep it free for everybody else. And we are so grateful for that group of people. So once again, you can check that out at patreon.com/chemforyourlife. But if you're not able to do that, you can still help us by grabbing some merch, a hat, a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, a sticker, something like that. one-time little deal, supports the show, and you get to show off something chemistry related wherever you go. So you can check that out on our website at chemforyourlife.com/store. Look around, see the different designs we've got over there. If you're not able to do that either, that's totally fine, because it's a very, very cool, very free way for you to support the show by subscribing on your favorite podcast app, rating, writing a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever podcast apps let you rate and review, or by subscribing on YouTube, leaving a comment over there saying hey to us. Those things help people find the show, help the chemistry of their everyday life be explained to them.
And this episode was created by me and Jam Robinson, me, Melissa Cleany, him, Jam Robinson. And if you would like to know more about the references we used to create the show, you can check those out. They're linked in our show notes or on our website. And we like to finish our episodes by saying thank you to our community who make the show happen, who bring us so much joy and help us, remember the why behind why we care about doing this podcast, and help us remember that a lot of people find value in it. And we really, really appreciate that. So we would like to say thank you to Hunter R., Chris and Claire S., Stephen B., Timothy P., Katrina B., Scott B., Vince W., Kyle M., Brian, Latila, Rachel, Elizabeth, John, Jesse, Doreen, Heather, Ash, Emily, Avishai, Chelsea, Christina, Jacob, Venus, Suzanne, Erica, Cullen, Jeanette, Autoclave, Julie, Justine, Emily M. Oh, we have two Emilys. Emily H and Emily M are separate. I didn't realize that. I might have just not been clarifying, but thanks to both Emilys. And Amanda R. Thanks for all you do, and yay chemistry!
Yay chemistry! We're fans of fans.
Can I tell you a joke?
Yes.
I think you should leave this in.
Okay.
I was a camp counselor in college, and one time I said, without knowing that I was making a joke, I said, "It is cold in here, and I am not a fan." And I meant like not a fan of how cold it was. And my friend who was the nurse at the camp was like, that was the most perfect joke that's ever been made. And now I think about it all the time.
That's so great.
And it was an accident.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you worded it in a way that was like, it really does seem like you meant that as a joke.
I didn't.
Yeah, wow.
So it's cold in here and I'm not a fan.
That's good.